love it. Yeah, that's cute. I love it. Well, yeah. I like it. Here we go.
Turn on. We'll call the meeting to order. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Added item on the agenda. Oh, if I can grab those. We have last meeting for two of our directors, David Brandenburg, that has served for 9 years and multiple years as chair. We appreciate 4 years. And Sandy Fosdick, you served 6 years, right? Good deal. Well, we thank you guys for your service as always. A lot of golf balls. So here you go.
Open. Jessica put all the time in. Open it up. Jessica did all the work.
Is it a bat? Is it a bat for Sandy?
It's a
Pickleball bat.
You got this one?
Thank you.
I don't normally run around with a knife anymore.
Now we know why. Cut yourself. And that brings the meeting to a close.
Oh, it's nice.
You know us all too well.
Wednesday night.
That's great. Very nice. Both of you.
Thank you two again. We appreciate everything you've done. All right. Next on the agenda is Jessica. You're going to go over the board election results and board executive positions for next term.
Yes, thank you. So Board of Election results are Jeff Hendren, 5,381, Kim Carlson, 4,741, Dave Armstrong, 4,706. So I'd like to congratulate both of three of those. And Hendren, Carlson, and Armstrong will be starting their 3-year term June 1st. So on behalf of the POA, we would like to thank all of the candidates for their willingness to volunteer and serve our community. Board chair is Jason Lloyd, and vice chair is Jeff Hendren for this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations, Jeff and Dave and Kim. Next is the approval of the minutes, April 23rd, our regular meeting. Thank you, Kathleen. Second. Thanks, Bob. Anybody see any changes? Have any comments? No? All right. All in favor? 9-0. Thank you. 9-0. Not nothing. And the next minutes was our work session from May 21st. Can I get a motion, please?
I move to approve the minutes from May 21st.
Kathleen, the minute. All right, thanks, Kathleen and Jeff. Any changes or questions on those minutes? No? All right, all in favor? Thank you, 9-0. Joint Advisory, Recreation, Tom, you have them and Lakes, right?
Yes, I do.
All right.
For the Recreation Committee, the committee approved the term extensions for Brian and Richard. Liz Howie resigned from the committee, and Jessica's going to advertise to try and find a replacement. The staff requested the budget recommendations for the 2027 budget by July 31st. And the committee scheduled a discussion for June 8th between 3:30 and 4 to prepare for the recommendations. Questions were raised regarding electric motorcycle usage on trails, and Class 3 motorcycles are not permitted off-street, and enforcement concerns should be directed to the Bella Vista Police Department. And individual reports, meaning individual amenity reports, is available in the minutes on the POA website. For the Lakes Committee, the Loch Lomond reached full pool as of April 26th after being brought down. The recently installed grass carp funnel trap will be closely watched by the lake's ecology staff now that Loch Lomond is at full capacity. And the committee discussed boat registration trends over the last 5 years. Total number of boat registrations is up over that period 21.4%. Kayaks and non-motorized boat registration has increased 29.7%. Boats over 18 feet have remained relatively flat with a 4.4% increase. Boats less than 18 feet declined by 9.6%. Due to increase in cost of registering a boat, revenue is up 42% versus prior year, so going pretty well there. Committee also discussed reviewing the capital recommendations coming up, and the committee discussed which lake they would like to select for the drawdown for this coming winter. And Lake Ann was tentatively selected, but they did not vote on this because they would like community input. And that is the report for the Lakes and Rec.
Thank you. Ms. Ruth, golf.
We had a lengthy golf meeting in May, and Graham Cornmeyer's course conditions. Winter killed in Bermuda, primarily affecting Kingswood and Scottsdale due to the late March cold snap. The other courses seem to be in good shape. Extra fertilizer cultural practices and limited sod replacement is underway. Testing Astro Bermuda sprigging from the Tanyard Creek is a long-term solution. Projects and infrastructure. Fire Department approved the boulder installations, Country Club number 8 roadside. The plan will be for fall. MAC team is assisting with erosion repair at the Highlands number 1 and other projects. Root pruning nearly complete across all courses. Autonomous mower now maintaining all turf except the greens at Country Club number 14. Feedback is requested later in the season. It's kind of fun to watch if you've never seen it. Green speed and smoothness metrics are improving across the courses. Kingswood's near target. Second pre-emergent application nearly complete in Kingswood, Birksdale, and Country Club. And cart path and capital updates. Asphalt grinders ordered may allow either earlier than planned, and the cart path repairs will come about earlier. Brittany number 1 through 5 already improved after grinding. Country Club number 13 sod replacement scheduled to weather depend upon. Kingswood fan installation progressing. Holes 8 and 10 are complete. 7 and 2 will be done next. Tanyard Creek sidewalk grading is ongoing. Weather conditions. Operations and revenue. Outstanding year driven by weather, course conditions, and strong member play. Golf rounds for April, 22,226, up 5,700 year-to-date, or over last year. Year-to-date rounds, 54,539, up 13,312 over last year. Member rounds increased faster than guest rounds, so the misconception that guest rounds are paying it all is not true. Weekends are now booked out quickly. Members must remember to sign up early, so they have 14 days out as opposed to 10 days as opposed to 14 per guest. Range bucket sales, 12,699 year-to-date. Tanyard Creek's the busiest range in northwest Arkansas. Pro shop sales are strong due to strategic merchandising. Tournament programs, Dogwood 3-person scramble, they had 28 teams. Folds of Honor at Highlands, 29 teams are registered. Alzheimer's Tournament, June 20th at Kingswood is now open for registration, and Friends of the Highlands 4th of July forms are available. Junior programs, PGA League, Junior League, Operation 36, Futures Cup, or Futures Academy, and are all in high participation. Okay, the golf committee did a member feedback as far as surveying what we can do with golf. The top reoccurring issues across member groups: cart path conditions, tee box leveling, bunkers, pace of play and cart rule violations, soils expansion, signage needed, and restaurants coordinating during shotguns. Committee discussed, board agreed that the cart paths, tee boxes, and soils expansion were probably the top 3 capital priorities. We'll bring them all to the table next month and discuss them further and rank order before we present them to the board. Committee will document specific tee boxes needing leveling. It's heard time and time again, our tee boxes are not level. People had the misconception that all tee boxes were on level. Not true. A few tee boxes are, and we're going to identify which are more not level than others. Hey, that's okay. Budget planning begins next month. Committee will rank order priorities and management for the board. Committee membership, Dave DeGraff and Jim Estes rotating off, and we thank them for their services. They decided not to go for another term. Brad Lawrence and Kim Mullen approved from the committee to 2 new terms, or for new terms that we brought up tonight to vote on. We appreciate your cooperation. 2 additional committee member seats, or actually 3 additional committee member seats, as Dave Armstrong was voted on to the board, so he will leave the golf committee and go to the board. We thank him for his dedication. We forgot to do that because we didn't know if he was going to be elected or not. Okay, closing notes. Courses are in better condition now than they've been in a long time, according to old-time members. And we need to keep that in mind, that even though some things come up or you had a bad day on the golf course, it's not always the course that's your problem. It might be you. And now it's time to rotate off the committee. My election.
Jeff and I hit it in the rough so we don't mess up the fairways, right, Jeff? That's right. Anything for Miss Ruth? Thanks, Ruth. That's a hard one to follow, Beth.
I can test it out. I just played last night. It was not the car. It was not the course. No. I'm trying to take up the game of golf at my age, and it's a challenge, but it's fun. The April financial summary. So you're going to see a theme. We're going to talk about strong golf and water revenue, solid food and beverage results, revenues exceeding budget, and we're still having some expense timing benefits, which is just the timing of when the actual expenses versus when they were budgeted. Looking at the month of April for consolidated, all of POA and water, the EBITDA came in at $550,000 for the month, which is almost 200% better than budget and 67% better than last year. Again, strong golf activity, water revenue, solid food and beverage. I'll talk a little bit later. There's some softness in the membership transfer fees, just a little bit, some higher food and beverage cost pressures, and then those favorable expense timing across several categories, which we do expect to reverse later in the year. But on a consolidated basis, revenue for the month was $4 million, $315,000 better than budget, and $362,000 better than last year. And besides those primary drivers, the recreation amenity fees and the assessment income is coming in strong as well. So we'll keep an eye out on those membership transfer fees, the pressures to the F&B margin, and those expected expense timing reversals. Looking at it year to date, you can see that the total revenue of $14.5 million is significantly better than budget and prior year. Cost of goods sold of 12 million and expenses together of 12,568,000 is less than budget, which is a good thing. You want your expenses less, and more than prior year, as we expected. So the EBITDA comes down to almost 2 million year to date, consolidated compared to 616,000 that was budgeted, and compared to 1,367,000 last year. So 600,000 better EBITDA year to date than this time last year. Looking at POA only without water, for the month, revenues coming in higher than budget and last year. Expenses and COGS are coming in better than budget, just a little bit more than last year, with an EBITDA for the month of 203,000 compared to a negative 76 budgeted and a negative 16,000 last year. And looking at golf operations, the April EBITDA was better than budget by 174,000, and that was coming straight down from revenue, which also beat budget by 174,000, and revenue for golf beat prior year by 259,000 for the month. The key revenue sources for April, you can see on the left, the 253,000 for greens fee guests leads the way. Next is the greens fee members of 141,000. Then we have the golf cart rentals at 121,000, annual green fees at 81,000, annual cart rentals 43,000, and pro shop sales 100,000 for the month. April cost of goods sold accounted for 70% of pro shop sales, and operating expenses were only $1,000 worse than budget due to labor for the month, but year to date, labor is better than budget by 19,000. And looking at the locations for golf, all the golf locations are beating their budget and prior year. You'll see that Kingsdale has the most revenue at 327,000, and then we have Country Club at 290,000, Highlands 265,000, Metfield 257,000, and Scottsdale 169,000, and Tanyard Creek 124,000. All the golf food and bar sales at the locations are also beating their budget in prior year. I won't go through all of those, but obviously leading is Tanyard Creek with 43,000. And then looking at the restaurants, food and beverage, they beat their EBITDA budget by 8,000 in April. Year to date, they are better than budget on EBITDA by 77,000. Revenue was 36,000 better than budget for the month, and year to date, 81,000 better than budget. COGS was worse than budget by 15,000 for the month. That's due to the higher sales volume than budgeted and also increased food costs. They came in at 39% of F&B income. And operating expenses missed budget by 10,000 overall. All the locations except for Little Sugar Bistro, Gear Garden, and BV Bar and Grill beat their EBITDA budget. Those did miss their budget for a combined total of 25,000. You'll see that BV Bar and Grill makes up more than half of the total restaurant sales year to date of 701,000. And coming in second is Lake Point at 300,000, Highlands Pub at 235,000, Little Sugar Bistro at 97,000, and Gear Garden 38,000. Other POA highlights before we move on: the recreation amenity fee brought in 98,000 in April, which beat budget, and 27,000 better year to date. Recreation class fees was $38,000 in April, which beat budget, and that's largely timing because we had a new online sign-up system this year that brought that revenue in a little bit earlier than normal. Assessment income was $1 million, which is beating budget for the month and year-to-date. As mentioned, those membership transfer fees, they came in at $74,000 in the month, but that was $17,000 worse than budgeted and $49,000 worse year-to-date. Processing fees is something we had budgeted for earlier in the year for the credit card payments on the portal. Due to some complications during implementation, those have not been implemented, but they will be as of June 1st. So year-to-date, we're missing budget on that by $44,000. Those expense timing benefits that we talked about, those can be seen across several maintenance and repair categories, as well as the health and dental insurance. Again, those are all timing that we expect to reverse later in the year. And we have had labor savings across the POA without water, resulting in $12,000 better than budget for the month and $214,000 better year-to-date. And we had an expected expense on consultants during the month that caused us to be $10,000 worse than budget on that category due to a lake study. Turning to water, water's EBITDA for April was $346,000, which beat budget and prior year, falling short of prior year, sorry. COGS and expenses were slightly better than budget and worse than prior year, but EBITDA came in at $346,000 compared to budget of $261,000, but it was worse than prior year by $153,000. Looking at water year-to-date, the revenue is $3,038,000. I'm sorry, the water sales is $3,038,000 year-to-date. That accounts for 67% of the water income. New connections of $508,000 and water buy-in fees of $585,000 combined make up 24% of the water income year-to-date. And all the other water income sources like investment income, bulk water sales, processing fees, late fees, make up only 9% of the water income year-to-date. We wanted to give you an update on the loan covenant compliance debt ratios that we have to turn into the bank every quarter. So for the first quarter, we are again very strongly in compliance. The cash flow leverage ratio, the bank requires it to be less than 3.5, and we are complying at 1.46. On the debt service coverage ratio, the bank requires it to be 1.25 or greater, and we are at 3.09. Looking at our cash position, we do have $10,432,000 in cash and short-term investments. $3.5 million of that is in water operating, and $3.7 million is in water reserves. POA operating is at $2.4 million, and POA reserves $820,000. And moving to the one-pager on the left is the year-to-date variances to budget on EBITDA by department. So as expected, with Golf's strong revenue that they're having, the Golf Ops is up $381,000 compared to budget, and water $292,000 compared to budget. Golf Maintenance is doing well managing their expenses, coming in at $125,000 better than budget year-to-date. The only one that is worse than budget is IT, and it's only a little about $6,000 worse than budget, and that's largely timing. And again, on the POA without water variance, the gross profit is $421,000 better than budget. Expenses are $637,000 better than budget. and its EBITDA year-to-date is $1,058,000 better than budget. The debt balances, the intercompany loan remains unchanged at $3.1 million. We have not drawn on the line of credit, and we have paid $94,000 of principal year-to-date on the region's loan of $5.6 million. And we discussed the cash reserves already. Do you have any questions?
So the credit card fee, you said was going to be showing up after June 1st on web service charges, right?
Yes.
What about charges at the golf course, charges at the restaurant?
Retail and food and beverage. We are working on implementing those as well. That'll be down the line later in the year. But those were not budgeted for because at the time we did our budget, we were told our systems couldn't handle it and do it. And they have since made updates to the system and told us we can now do that. So we are in the process of implementing that. It's going to take a whole swift over of devices and things. It's a very complicated project, but we are working on it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Beth. Does anybody else have any questions for Beth? All right, next is open forum, and we do not have anybody signed up, but we do have an email that Tom will go over.
So we received an email from a property owner. It wasn't exactly clear if it was for just the ward or for the community, but it's actually a really good question, so we figured we'd answer it. And we already answered or responded directly to the property owner, but they say, what exactly does the POA balance sheet line item retirement short-term investments refer to? And this is actually a good question because this is something that we're just recently started highlighting. So retirement short-term investments consist of employee investment accounts, 357B and 357F accounts, also referred to as deferred compensation. These are accounts which higher-level employees contribute to out of their own salary. They are different from 401k accounts in that the investments are not in trust and are technically still POA assets. With the balances growing in these accounts for transparency purposes, we decided to report these separately from other POA cash and investments. There is a corresponding liability recorded that has been lumped in with other accrued payroll liabilities on the balance sheet. Retirement short-term investments is not new, but we started reporting it separately for transparency. And for a long time, the balances were rather low, and so it was to a certain extent insignificant. Now that the balances are higher, it gives the impression that if we lumped it in with the POA cash, it gives the impression that the POA has more money than they actually do. It's still technically the POA's money, but in other ways it's really not. So transparency, we decided to add it. I think Beth added it 2 months ago, 1 month ago?
Yes.
We'll get that for
Absolutely.
Thank you for that informed decision. So, in our continuing effort to be transparent with the membership, we made that change.
I think that was last month.
Good change. All right, friendly land condemnation by the city of Bella Vista.
Can you say that again?
Nope.
Okay. So, we were approached by the city of Bella Vista, and we were approached by the city of Bella Vista. Sorry, I didn't have my microphone on. And they would like to construct a emergency systems communication tower on POA land on the east side. They need a small portion of our land, 0.11 acres. No. They need 1 acre. I apologize, 1.02 acres. And this is off of Trafalgar and Leland. The POA owns about 4.75 acres. We purchased that land in 2021 from Cooper. We got an appraisal at that time for that purchase. So the city only needs a small portion of it. The POA acquired that land in 2021. We will be using that to build a new water tower about 7 to 8 years from now. It is not yet determined. That will be in long-term planning for the water. But we know we need it. But the southern portion of that 4.75 acres is the flattest portion, and that's where we would place the water tower. The northern portion is actually steep, and that's where the city wants to put their communications tower. They received an appraisal for $67,000, and they would like to purchase it from the POA. Now, the POA, our declaration does not allow us to outright sell it, but they can they can do a condemnation, which actually bypasses this, you know, it's clearly for public good, so they are asking for a friendly condemnation, which means that the POA will not fight it, will not take them to court and so forth. And if we did, we would probably lose. In the best interest of the POA and the community, because it is for emergency communications tower, it makes sense to do this. So we are asking the board to essentially not fight this.
I move that the POA will not oppose the city's condemnation of a portion of common property off Trafalgar, and the appraisal of $67,000 is reasonable.
Thanks, Jeff.
I second.
Thank you, JB. We discussed this a little bit at the work session. Is there any other discussion on this one? No? All right, all in favor of this land sale? 9-0. Thank you. No opposed.
And in the board packet, there's some maps and diagrams and so forth, and the appraisal that the city received on that land. So you can see that on our website. The next item is the Rules and Regulations Committee met, and they are recommending changes to policy 5.03, which is guest policies. This originated at the request of some pickleball enthusiasts to try and curb to a certain extent some of the excessive guest usage. In speaking with them, we have multiple things that we're going to planning on doing. I think the most significant of which is we're looking at adding, I call it an airlock, a fencing system to control who can access the courts and who won't. And if we are able to get that into our budget for 2027, and the board decides to have a guest fee for using the pickleball courts, none of that has been voted upon, but it's looks like that we're heading in that direction. I think that's going to control guest use of the pickleball course the most, but also controlling the number of guest passes will be very helpful. So the Rules and Regulations Committee passed this. This would be the first reading of 2 required readings.
I make a motion to approve the suggested changes to policy 5.03, guest policies, first reading of 2 required readings.
Thank you, Bob. Second? Sam? Thank you, Deborah. Sandy. Thank you, Deborah. Is there any further discussion on this one?
I was looking for the second part of this, and I'm not seeing it in red. The part where you can only...
Mike, your mic.
Oh boy.
Jeez, just kick me off. The reason that I was distracted was because I was looking for the second part of this change.
Okay, unfortunately, in preparing the packet, we used an older version compared to what the Rules and Regulations Committee went through and went over, and what was covered in the GM meeting.
Was the version that you saw at the work session, was that the correct one?
That was the correct one.
So if we could amend the motion to refer back to the work session policy. Sorry, Bob.
I amend the motion to approve policy 5.03 as stated in the work session. This is the first reading of 2 readings.
And I second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor? 9-0. Thank you. And thank you, Sandy, for all those, this pickleball. The next is the JAC nominations, one at a time. Kimla Mullen needs a vote.
I make a motion to affirm the nomination of Kimmel Mullen to the golf committee.
A second.
Thank you. Any discussion, Kimla? I know she's been on,
This is a repeat.
Just a repeat, yeah.
She's been on 3 years.
yeah, so this is her first switchover. All right, all in favor? 9-0, thank you. Brad Lawrence. I know Brad, he's a friend.
I move to nominate Brad Lawrence for another term on the golf committee.
I'll second Brad. Any discussion on Brad? I don't know if I can. Can I say? I can say. Because it's Brad. Okay, JB, go ahead. Yeah, JB got it. All right, all in favor. Are you in or out? You're in. 9-0. Thank you, Dave. Now the rec committee. 2 nominations.
I make a motion affirming the nomination of Brian Mickelson to the Recreation Committee.
Thank you, Jeff. Any conversations on Brian? No? All in favor? 9-0. And the last, Richard Taylor.
I make a motion nominating Richard Taylor to the Recreation Committee, because he's my neighbor.
Thanks, Eddie. Thanks, Jackie. Second. Other than being Sandy's neighbor, any more discussion of this gentleman? All right, all in favor? 9-0. Thank you. All right, go to announcements. Flip my page, sorry. Next recreation committee is June 8th at 4 p.m. in the boardroom here at the Country Club, and live stream, and all these will be boardroom and live stream unless otherwise noted. Lakes JAC is Wednesday, June 10th at 2 p.m., followed by the golf committee meeting on June 10th at 4 p.m. New and returning board members tour is Friday, June 12th at 9 a.m. We will meet in the lobby at 9 a.m., I said, and approximately 3 o'clock. Wear comfortable shoes and clothes. Comfortable clothes. Sorry. New and returning board member orientation is, I had to specify. New and returning board member orientation is Thursday, June 19th at 9 here in the boardroom, and that is a closed meeting. Board of Directors GM meeting is Thursday, June 11th at 2:30 here in the boardroom. That is also a closed meeting. Next Board of Directors work session is June 18th at 9 a.m. boardroom and live stream, and our next regular session is June 25th at 6 p.m. here in the boardroom and live stream. Before we, yes, go ahead, Bob.
I just was wondering if we could hear some words of wisdom from our departing board members.
Don't lose at poker. Play more pickleball.
Don't play poker.
As I look at this calendar, I'm like, June 10th, 2 p.m., pickleball. GM meeting, pickleball. But I would also like to announce that pickleball courts at Branchwood are going to be closed on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. We are all very sad, but they need maintenance. So if anybody plays pickleball, know that they'll be being repaired. A member ran into a fence and knocked it over.
Intense.
Yeah. I told you it's a
Brett.
dangerous game. I wasn't kidding when I said if you hit me in the head with a paddle.
Mr. Brandon Bird.
I'd just like to say, I'm very proud of the progress and the direction that the POA has been going the last 9 years. Anybody who's been here that long will recognize how far we've come. We've got a way to go, but we're certainly headed in the right direction. I wanted to thank the membership who voted me in for 3 terms. I wanted to thank the various boards that I was on who voted me to the position of leadership. And I would like to thank the management, specifically Tom, for all the help he gave me being, I hope, an effective leader of the group for 4 years. And with that, I say Godspeed.
Thank you. That's good. Yes, Deborah?
David, I'd like to say thank you to you. When I was newly involved with the POA, and I was at the end the chairman of the rec committee, and you were the chairman of the board, you gave me a lot of advice and guidance and expertise, and I appreciate your mentorship, as you did when I joined the board. I thank you for your service. It's a lot of work, and to care that much about your community and your members, I appreciate you very much for that. Sandy, you've been awesome to me. You spent a lot of time teaching me things that I needed to learn, and I appreciate that. And you spent time being a friend, and I appreciate that. Thank you for the 6 years that you've been here, and have fun with pickleball.
Thanks, Deborah. Anybody else?
It's truly been my honor to serve.
All right. Thank you both. David, you and I talked when you chair thing changed, and I appreciate all your wisdom as well. And Sandy, you've just always been fun. We've enjoyed you. Go enjoy life, guys. Is there anything else? Yes. No. You. Yes. We are adjourned.